Hey guys, welcome back to Movie Kid channel with another video. And today's video I'm gonna do talking about one of my favorite directors' filmography, and this will be the top 10 favorite Akira Kurosawa films. Before we go on to my top 10, Akira Kurosawa, for what he is, he's becoming one of my favorite directors of all time. My top 10. In fact, my second favorite director of all time, first being Steven Spielberg. Akira Kurosawa is a very interesting man, a man who had a passion in film and storytelling. He loved to tell stories in a big screen, small or big, and he's just a wonderful, wonderful human being with many, many ups and downs in his life. But no matter what, downs or ups, he's still making films because that is his passion. And until he later life, he struggled a lot with his injury. He, giving up, but making films for him gives him hope. And Akira Kurosawa, when I first discovered him in the year 2014 or early 2013 when I saw Luke Ryan video talk about Seven Samurai. That was me discovering the man himself, Akira Kurosawa. Now, before we go on to my top 10, there's a few films from him that I have not seen. For example, Red Beard, Matadao, I believe Matadao, that's one of his last films, and his early film work that I have not seen. And Ran. I have not seen Ran because, yes, Studio Canal released on Blu-ray, but I heard the transfer sucks. So I'm waiting for Criterion to hopefully re-release it on Blu-ray. And Ran is one of my biggest wish list for me to watch. Anyways, let's get right into the top 10 favorite Akira Kurosawa film. Sit back and enjoy. Number 10 goes to the film called Sanjuro. This is a sequel to Yojimbo, and this is probably my least favorite Akira Kurosawa film, but nonetheless, it's still a fun time. And Toshio Mifune is a stellar actor. He's the best part in the film, in my opinion. And Sanjuro as a whole film is just okay. I really enjoyed the kind of like a Western feel vibe going on in this film. That's number 10, Sanjuro. Number 9 goes to Yojimbo. Yojimbo is a great watch. Fast paced. Toshio Mifune steals the show. He's the highlight. He made what made the film work. The collaboration between Akira Kurosawa and Toshio Mifune is always great when you watch it. When you watch his film, and he's wonderful in this movie. A badass and a great character with depth and feel that you can feel for them, for Toshio Mifune character in Yojimbo. And that's why Yojimbo is my number 9. Number 8, go to a film, Kagemusha. This is a big collaboration from George Lucas and I believe, Francis Ford Coppola when Akira Kurosawa need the money to make this film happen. And I only seen once. The first time I saw this movie was on Netflix years ago, 2014. And I remember loving the movie and just the visual style. It's like a painting. Every frame in this movie was shown. It's like a beautiful, beautiful painting. And the cinematography is on point in Kagemusha. A wonderful, wonderful film. A very lengthy film, but worth the experience watching for the very first time. Now, I only seen this movie just once. I need to rewatch this movie in order to say that I fully love this movie. But for what I remembered, I remember loving this movie, and I do love this movie. The more I think about it nowadays, even though I haven't rewatched this film, it's just a beautiful shot, wonderful story, an epic tale of a samurai story directed by Akira Kurosawa. And I really enjoyed this movie, but I don't remember much because I only seen it once. But it earned itself to put in number 8 because I remember loving this movie and it's much better than Yojimbo and Chinchiro. But also at the same time, I decided to put it really low in number 8 because I only seen it once. That's number 8 for Kagemusha. Number 7 go to film A. This is where George Lucas got inspiration for Star Wars. I'm talking about The Hidden Fortress. And once again, great cast, great story, and entertaining story from the beginning to end. And yes, George Lucas got the idea from this film, The Hidden Fortress. As you can tell from watching The Hidden Fortress, some beats of the story, some character beats that you can see that's very familiar in Star Wars: A New Hope. But the Hidden Fortress is where it started. Without the Hidden Fortress, we wouldn't got Star Wars what it was nowadays. And the Hidden Fortress is just so much fun. Great characters, great action set pieces, and just so much fun. And this is one of my most rewatched Akira Kurosawa films because it's just so much fun, and it gives you entertainment throughout the whole entire runtime. And there's so many great images. The black and white feel on this, the cinematography just breathtaking. So many great images and shots just feel like a painting. And Akira Kurosawa is really good knowing what kind of shot he wants in the film and to feel like a painting, yet to tell a story just for one image. And the Hidden Fortress have that in many scenes in this movie. And yes, you can tell some familiarity. That's not the word. Familiar with the story beats in Star Wars, but that's okay because it doesn't bother me because I I prefer the Hidden Fortress over Star Wars: A New Hope by a little bit long shot, but they're both equally great. But the Hidden Fortress is a great film. Number 6, man, talking about great suspense and intensity and just heart racing moments in this movie, and I'm talking about High and Low. I'm not gonna give you too much plot of this movie because I want you guys to see it for the very first time with your own eyes. And this film can be a little bit long, but it flew by really quickly in this movie that it kept you in edge of your seat. You glued to the screen what the characters, what the story gonna happen in forward, and how it deals the situation that they're in. Trying to get Toshio Mifune's son back from the kidnapper. And there's so many twists and turns, and it just kept you in a very exciting way that you just don't want to end the movie. You just want to continue the story where from the start, from the beginning, all the way to the end. And High and Low is a perfect use of imagery and just the cinematography just set the shot really well and knowing where to go for the characters from forward to forward. And this the High and Low is one I believe one of the most underrated Akira Kurosawa films, but it's a great one nonetheless. Number 5, one of the best Macbeth adaptation, and I'm talking about Throne of Blood. I I love this movie. I been watching this movie a ton of time because I just want to revisit the story, and it's one of my favorite adaptations to Macbeth. I remember reading Macbeth in high school, and after reading Macbeth, the book from Shakespeare, I want to rewatch Throne of Blood after it because Throne of Blood is just it's a character piece, yet it's a wonderful story that kept you in from the ride that can be crazy and just wonderful at the same time. To see Mifune in this movie, I believe, in my opinion, this is one of my favorite performances from him working with Akira Kurosawa. And Throne of Blood, as soon the opening starts, I was hooked. I was hooked because the moment on when one of the characters riding the horses in the fog. It's like they're lost, but we are lost because we just got started in the movie, and it's a ride that we are part of to see where the character goes from the future in the movie from the runtime. And the climax of this movie is just so good. It's just so good. When Toshio Mifune character goes bonkers with his mind, he just lost his mind, and just everyone has been betrayed him, and it's just a great way to use actors' expression in this movie. In the end, that you don't need dialogue to show that he's scared, but you can use emotion that's to show that he is scared and alone, just him. And this is a great film that they use that entirely because Toshio Mifune is an excellent actor, and Thunder Blood is probably my favorite Akira Kurosawa film. But there's other Akira Kurosawa films that beats Thunder Blood, but nonetheless, it's a great film. If you have not seen Thunder Blood, I highly recommend. Number four, this is a great story piece, but at the same time, a great character piece. That is Rashomon. Rashomon is, I remember it was my second Akira Kurosawa film that I ever seen, and I just loved it. There was never a dull moment because the story kept interesting. It kept you in and invest the story that's worth watching. This is a character piece, a dialogue piece. This is about facing their consequences. That a main character faced something horrible that he has done, and this is a great storytelling, just dialogue and dialogue and dialogue that keeps you interesting in, and just knowing what's gonna happen after the next. And Rashomon using a lot of dialogue pieces just felt quiet and just take a breather because at the audience need to understand what's happening, what's the consequence that he is facing, and why he's done it. And this is a great film that talks about it and going deep layers of character depths in the movie. And Rashomon is phenomenal for a dialogue piece, but not just a dialogue piece, a character piece. Number three, Ikiru. Ikiru is a wonderful story of an elderly man, a hardworking man, got some bad news in his hands that there's not much time to live. And this is about a journey of a man going through his life, giving many thoughts what's gonna happen in the future in his life. And what makes this movie wonderful and great at the same time is not only just emotional, powerful, but it's a character piece. What makes this film wonderful that the story is kept you in the ride to see what this man gone through, what's going through, the news that he's given. Yet he's trying to figure out that his life didn't do much with his life. That he wishes he wanted to do something more out of his life. But there's a great message that you have a great life. You have a job. Doesn't mean that your life is boring, but you have a job. You have somebody who loves you. This is a story of an elder man. Think about his life in a meaningful way. And this is a beautiful, beautiful story. It's a great character piece that you just felt for him. I just want to hug him. You know? And Ikiru is a wonderful way to use story as a story beats to tell in an emotional way that this character from the start of the movie is fleshed out. We already have a character development that he discovered that he is terminally ill from cancer. there, there's your emotional hook in this movie that we're gonna follow and understand that he's going through some mental breakdown in a sad way that his life is not fulfilled, but it is fulfilled because he is loved, he has a job, and he has a great life nonetheless. And Ikiru is a beautiful, beautiful film. Number two goes to the film that is a 3 hour long epic. My very first Akira Kurosawa film that I ever watched. All thanks to Luke Ryan, and I'm talking about Seven Samurai. Before it was Magnificent Seven, there was Seven Samurai. A lot of people forget that Magnificent Seven was a remake to Seven Samurai because not a lot of people know that. And I keep telling people that actually Seven Samurai did it first. And Seven Samurai is one of the best Akira Kurosawa film there is. It doesn't feel like this. One of the best thing about this movie that it is 3 hour long, but it doesn't feel like 3 hour long. It flew by really quickly because the story kept you entertained, and that the characters, this group of characters, Seven Samurai, has its own unique personality, one another, that creates a wonderful banter to each other, trying to defend this village from this gang of bad guys from destroying it. And it's a great character development film that all the characters flesh out because each of them has his own unique personality that makes it so much fun to watch, and just flew by really quickly. It doesn't feel like 3 hour long. And I remember when the first time watching this movie, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be 3 hour long. I'm not sure I'm gonna like this movie, but as soon as the movie starts, I was hooked. I was hooked in the beginning of the movie that, man, this is very entertaining for a black and white film, for a 3 hour long film, and also you have to read the subtitles. But it doesn't bother me at all because this movie is so entertaining, and of course the climax of this movie is just so much fun and well, played out in the beautiful cinematography that is. And it's just you were rooting for the samurai, and in the end of the movie, it felt you satisfied. And it's just a great story from the beginning and end that doesn't need to do a sequel or a franchise that like the Magnificent Seven does. It's just a one film. You got the village who had been taken over from the bad guys that needed help, and bring a team of samurais, a different unique personality samurais to defend the village. That's it. You don't need to do a sequel to this. This is a great, fun, excellent film with great characters, great moments. There's some funny moments, some dramatic moments. Just so good. Seven Samurai is my other rewatchable film that in on my Criterion collection. It is available in the Criterion collection with a beautiful transfer. I love, 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 love Seven Samurai. But not as much as number one, Dreams. Akira Kurosawa Dreams is one of the latest work from his later life in a color film. And this is the film, it's like an anthology film, but with Akira Kurosawa Dreams coming to life. This is based on his dreams that he wanted. But what's so great about this movie, he decided to make a film about his dreams. So the audience and myself to see what his dreams is like. And there's so many great dreams in this film that I cannot take one of my favorites because all the dream that is being shown in the film is just great. But I'll tell you what my top two dreams are. The first dream I love is called The Blizzard. And it's just a eerie, haunting, yet claustrophobic of an idea of a man trying to climb up to the Mount Everest. But the weather, the blizzard, is just a sense of isolation, yet very fantasy-like. But the other dream that I love from this movie called The Tunnel. Very powerful, emotional, just heartbreaking of a man just got out from war, going back to home. But when he sees the tunnel, there's a fear that he gone with his face. He sees his former friends and camaraderie in the tunnel, the death that he had to face, the trauma that he deals with. The tunnel is just, I was glued to the screen, just, I felt like my heart just dropped, just stopped. Just watching this tunnel, it's one of my most rewatched dreams because I always look forward to rewatching that particular dream, the tunnel, because the acting performance is just so good. Just using his expression, sadness, fear, trauma from war. Because war is a scary thing. And you feel for that because they're human beings with emotions that they're broken. And the tunnel is just a roller coaster of emotion. There's some great shots and images that feel like a horror film, a short horror film. That this is a perfect short horror film that just kept you invested. Like, okay, what's gonna happen in the beginning of this short? Then you see what's happening. The tunnel is just one of my favorites. And my other favorite is Crows, which is a Vincent Van Gogh dream that Akira Kurosawa loved, and played by Martin Scorsese as Vincent Van Gogh. This is awesome, and there's a lot of way to use this particular dream that is very imaginative and creative. That the man, a painter, a very inspired painter, go to some Vincent Van Gogh painting like another world, like very Alice in the Wonderland like scenario. And he meets Vincent Van Gogh in a very heartwarming conversation. And it's a great dream, I'll say that to say. But my other one favorite is like the sense of urgency is it's called Mount Fuji in Red. This is the end of the world scenario in this movie. I mean, not a movie. This short that's one of Akira Kurosawa dreams that he fears what's gonna happen in life, which is wonderful. All in all, Dreams is a great anthology piece that I'm so glad Akira Kurosawa made this film happen because so he can share his dreams to life. And this is another collaboration with Steven Spielberg because the budget that he needs to make this film happen. And I'm glad this film exists because it's a wonderful, wonderful film. And when I first saw this movie, Dreams, it became one of my favorites Akira Kurosawa film. My number one, nonetheless, because it's unique and beautiful. And the cinematography, the way he used color, it's just like a painting. Every frame from this Dreams is like a painting. And it deserves to be on the wall because it is. Dreams is a beautiful, beautiful piece. A personal piece for Akira Kurosawa. And that is my number one. There you have it, you guys. This is my top 10 favorite Akira Kurosawa films. And a lot of great ones. A lot of hitters right there. I mean, this is a tough list to make because in the end, I love all of his films. Beside other films that I have not seen yet, like Ran, Red Beard, Matadario, Toketan, I believe that's what it's called, and one of his earlier works that I have not seen. But I'm waiting for Criterion to put in more of Akira Kurosawa films on Blu-ray because it deserved it, or in a box set, whatever a Criterion Collection decide to do so. But in the end, Akira Kurosawa is one of my favorite directors. My top two. He's very inspirational to me. Like, he actually cares about making film to tell great stories on the big screen. And I'm glad I did this because this is a perfect day. It's a beautiful day. I decided, you know what? I can make a list. Let's do my top 10 favorite Akira Kurosawa films because I love Akira Kurosawa as a filmmaker. Not only as a filmmaker, as a human being. What he gone through in his life from ups and downs. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and please check out any Akira Kurosawa film. They're all great first time watches because they're really easy to watch and easy to follow. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Have a great one and take care.